Welcome into a Tuesday edition of right here live from the undisclosed location where we have no water.
No water, got the heater going, but I'm about to cut it off, so get comfy, brother.
Pipes are frozen here at the undisclosed location. Very irresponsible by our crew here at the Jordy Culotta show. We have made a call to a local plumber. He seems to think like we could be okay.
You know, you'd think with both of us kind of running around this morning, we could have gotten something done, but...
Head in a different place, Lloyd. It's all good.
It's all right.
We're going to get an weather update from our friend Steve Caparotta, Dr. Steve Caparotta, coming up here in 10 minutes on the Jordy Culotta show. Yesterday was slick. It was icy. It was wet. We'll see what the next couple of days hold. It looks like today might be dry, a little warmer. Hopefully these pipes can thaw out before tomorrow. Another freezing rain is going to come through South Louisiana. Not looking forward to that here on the Jordy Culotta show. We're not built for that. We're not built for it at all.
We don't even know protocol, dude.
July 18th. Where the hell are you at? Bring me the 120-degree weather. Bring me the 100% humidity.
Bring me the sweat and the beer.
Shout out to Nays. Shout out to Nay, Fred's, and the crew over at Fred's. This is the most comfortable sweatshirt piece of swag that we got. I mean, it is the best. Frioli and everybody over there, thank you for hooking us up. Daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet, and our coffee is brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Remember, Metropolitan Health Group, real doctors, real solutions. Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, the entire crew over there, big supporters of the Jordy Culotta show. Another executive decision made here on the JC show. Remember, hop inside of the bunker if you've got some questions for the JC show, where all you had to do is just hashtag it, ask the JC show. Katie's expected to come in after she drops off Sophie at school. And then Rivers is going to stay home this morning. We're not taking the chance with Rivers maybe possibly getting trapped at the undisclosed location and being away from her kids for the day. So we're just going to keep her at home as long as this stuff looks like it's a threat.
And I got no responsibilities.
Yeah.
Except for this
fantastic
show. That's it.
Yeah.
If you need me, you got me.
We're going to roll here until 9 a.m. We got Frank Wilson, who's going to stop by 1 hour from now. Frank with a pretty emotional, electric win in game one for him. Cody Ogeron, LSU's head football coach's son, with a 3-touchdown performance and a game-winning scramble in overtime to preserve the victory for the Cowboys. We'll talk to Frank Wilson coming up here at 8 a.m. 7:30, Hunt Palmer, first time here on the Jordy Culotta show. Looking forward to a conversation with our good friend Hunt Palmer. A lot about LSU baseball as the Tigers get going coming up here in a couple of days. And then really looking forward to our conversation at the end of today's show. Should be somewhere around 9 a.m., 8:45-ish. We're going to talk to Shazz Preston. Preston is the number one wide receiver in the state of Louisiana in a season filled with just high-end recruits. Will Campbell, Walker Howard being the two most obvious there. Shazz Preston is right there in that conversation. He's an electric player out of St. James. He's a member of the Bootleggers. His brother plays for Mississippi State. His dad has a great relationship. In fact, he coached with Mickey Joseph back in the 90s. So we'll talk to Shazz coming up here at the end of hour one. So stick around here on the Jordy Culotta show. We always appreciate you jumping inside the bunker. We appreciate your interaction. And remember, we're daily brought to you by Go Chevrolet. GEAUX Chevrolet.com is where you can find Lee Carney and Nick Richard if you're looking for new inventory or pre-owned inventory. They can get you into a new model today online at GEAUX Chevrolet.com. We talked to Will Wade yesterday. Coach Wade had an interesting piece of news stating that the possibility of a game being washed out and being made up was even discussed about moving an LSU game to Chapel Hill to play North Carolina. I mean, my God.
Just aesthetically.
Isn't that why you love the guy, though? I mean, doesn't back down from anything.
We'll play.
In the middle of the week, in the middle of a season, he's trying to go up to Chapel Hill. I'd love to see the colors. I'd love to see LSU in their purple jerseys.
It would have been shades of the UCLA LSU game coming up. Little,
yes,
get that
football
good,
game.
Yeah, that good sky blue, and get a little precursor for the game.
Last time LSU played North Carolina was obviously in the tournament. I believe that was Tasman Mitchell's last game. It was Trent Johnson's first season in which Tasman was on that team. Tasman came back for he had a good season, but the team had a terrible season his last year with Trent Johnson's second year. But they got bounced out by North Carolina. North Carolina ended up winning the national championship that season. But I would have loved to have seen it. That's not happening. Don't let me get sidetracked. The game that was made up and the game that was put on the docket was versus Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, this would have been the second time that LSU had traveled over to Oxford to play at the Pavilion. But now this game has been shifted to 4 o'clock on Thursday due to some weather restraints. So this is going to start Thursday at 4 o'clock. It'll be on the SEC network. LSU will play Ole Miss for the second time this season. They'll be back in Baton Rouge on Saturday to play Auburn. So they are keeping the schedule as it's placed, after this Ole Miss game in place. So they will have they will have the game. They will play this week's game versus Ole Miss.
Finish that sentence strong, not a boy.
Yes,
they will play the game.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
I know.
But it's another quad one game for Will Wade and LSU basketball. They're playing their best right now, at least from both a basketball and from a mental standpoint. They are as confident as they've been all season, and it looks like they're finally playing with some chemistry. The thing that was really bothering me and getting me worried early on in the season was it just didn't look like Javonte Smart and Cam Thomas had chemistry. It didn't look like Cam Thomas and Trendon Watford had chemistry out there. It didn't look like Darius Days and Trendon Watford were playing well together. All that stuff in the season, that is huge cause for concern, because that's the type of stuff that you got to get worked out. You got to get worked out in training camp, right? I mean, you got to be able to get that stuff figured out long before the season starts. And now they finally seem to have that figured out. And like we talked to Wade yesterday about, it seems like they're getting their special teams in order. They're starting to be effective on the in and out of bounds plays. They got a couple of points under the basket the other day on an inbounds play. You get in those tight games versus Tennessee, versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss, hottest team in the league right now, that you're going to face off against Oxford in Oxford in a couple of days. You got to take every opportunity you get to get a basket, especially on the easy, where you can draw up, you can screen to get open inbound plays. And LSU was very much struggling in that department early on in the season. It seems like since the Mississippi State game into Saturday's game against Tennessee, that they have really developed that. Yeah.
And those inbounds plays, something that Will Wade did very well early on. It was something coming out of a timeout. He always had something schemed up. So it's nice to see him kind of get back to that. I know that kind of goes down the bench when you have, coaches that can help you with that kind of stuff. But it's nice to see us kind of put it all together, because we were dead in the water, it seemed like, for a second.
Oh, it looked like they were a dead ship. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I still,
a boat without an oar.
I mean, it was not moving, and it was drifting in the wrong direction. I mean, it seemed like almost it kind of felt like football last year around Baton Rouge at LSU.
Doing?
Yeah, where I mean, like, it didn't seem like the messages were getting through. Nobody was listening. Nobody really knew their responsibility. And kind of what their deal was on the team. And it seems like they're getting that figured out heading into Oxford. That's going to be a big time matchup. That will be a big win for LSU if they can pull that off Thursday at 4 o'clock. That'll be on the SEC network. We did not mention this. Happy Mardi Gras.
Oh, happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras to you out there. It's a little weird. It's not the same.
Speaking of dead in the water,
what a great time of the year that's just kind of been.
If I'd have thought I'd been the only one here on a Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday, that 10 years ago, Lloyd, would be very sad.
No, I mean, look, man, even 40-year-old Jordy's sad.
I need to be on a balcony somewhere.
I mean, this is a great time of the year in our state. It's a great time of getting out and celebrating. And it's freezing.
It's freezing
Our
cold.
pipes are frozen. We've got no water.
We got no food. Our pets' heads are falling off.
We got no coffee over here. I saw somebody inside of the bunker. Remember, get your questions inside of the bunker. Hashtag Ask the Jordy Culotta Show if you want to get in here. Somebody was saying, Carl Dunn, no coffee, no water, not a good mix. That's right. All right, give me the Bluetooth here. I want to link up with Dr. Steve Caparotta over at WAFB. who's been helping us out with our weather reports here. And you can jump inside and listen in, but we want to see what's going on over the next couple of days here.
I think you're paired, Cuzzo.
Yeah, we're definitely paired. If you want to volume me up.
There we go.
See if we can't get the doc on the phone here. I know it's very busy time for him.
There we go.
Hey, man.
Doc, good morning.
What's up?
How are you? We're live. How about today, Tuesday? Our pipes are frozen at the undisclosed location. We're very irresponsible over here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we but we do kind of. I did talk to the plumber, and he said if there was a day that it could get right before tomorrow, this might be it because there's some sunshine, hopefully on the horizon this morning. Is that true?
There is some sunshine,
Okay.
probably moving in later today,
Okay.
and definitely by this afternoon we should have some. So I think for you, it just depends on how much ice you got in there, and where the pipes are frozen, and how much sun they actually get.
What was yesterday like for you? I know we tried to get you on a couple of times, and you were texting back and forth that you had hits coming in left and right, and we'll get you out of here. Just let us know if you got to get out of here. I know that it's a very busy time for you, but what was yesterday like, and kind of what are the next couple of days like for you? A meteorologist in South Louisiana covering a snowstorm or just snow?
Yeah, covering the ice, that's just the worst of it, and we've been through this now a few times in recent years. That's the crazy thing about it, but it's just we don't handle it real well. Obviously, we're just not equipped to handle it real well in terms of roads and infrastructure, so it's kind of stressful knowing that that's coming and that you're facing that the city and the region's going to be shut down, and people are going to be frustrated trying to get done what they need to do. Some people have to get to work. So, yeah, it was a long day yesterday, the night before, really the days leading up to it as you're trying to figure out just how bad it's going to be. And one thing I'll say honestly is as bad as it's been, it could have been worse. I mentioned on the show this morning, so the airport ended up, you melt down what fell yesterday. They ended up with about a half inch of liquid, what would have been a half inch of liquid rain. If you measured how much ice was on the trees, I did that here at the station. We had about an eighth of an inch of ice on the trees. So it essentially means about 25% of what fell from the sky ended up as ice on the trees. So imagine if that had just gone up to like 50%, if you had double the amount of ice on the trees and power lines. Could have been a lot worse. So one of the things that would help at times was the rain was coming down heavy enough that some of it just ran off instead of freezing. And the other thing was, even though sleet is not great, we got a good bit of sleet, and the sleet is somewhat better than freezing rain.
Dr. Steve Caparotta joining us here on from WAFB. You can check him out right now. He's on the morning show, and he's on Twitter at SteveWAFB. How bad is it going to get this week? Is there more bad stuff coming tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're going to transition from ice to showers and storms tomorrow. Oof. Now, most of what comes tomorrow, the main severe weather threat late tomorrow should be mostly south and southeast of Baton Rouge. We're technically right on the edge of what they call level 1, marginal risk of severe weather. But right now, it looks like the greatest threat is really south of I-10 and maybe even a little closer to New Orleans. But still, pretty crazy that here we are on Tuesday morning. We're waking up to ice. And by the way, for anybody that's listening and or watching this morning, I got a couple of reports. So when you called, I was standing outside. We are getting some very, very light flurries around the area. There are a few tiny little flakes falling out of the sky. So if you want to step outside, you might be able to catch that. But bottom line is crazy. We got ice on the ground this morning, record lows. It's 20 degrees in Baton Rouge, and there's even the mention of severe weather by late tomorrow. So it's a roller coaster ride.
Doc, we tap out. Uncle. It's not good for our pipe situation. Dr. Steve Caparotta joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. I'm following you on Twitter, which is a great place to keep up with the latest. What would you tell our listeners? How would you advise them to keep up with you and what's going on?
Yeah, Twitter and Facebook for sure. Those are good places to keep up. obviously on TV. And the main thing I'd say today, Jordy, is that even though it's going to stay really cold, and I think we'll only get maybe 3 or 4 hours above freezing this afternoon, that combined with what should be some sun coming back, that'll actually help out a good bit. That'll probably thaw things out more than people might expect. Now, the interstates, I don't know. I was looking at the shot of the Mississippi River Bridge just a few minutes ago. It's completely iced over. So I don't know how much work they can do on that and whether they're going to be able to get that reopened today, tonight, or if that's going to be tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, I just retweeted the last shot from Steve Caparotta's Twitter account at SteveWAFB, which is a shot of the Mississippi River Bridge that is clearly iced over and not having any transportation this morning. Doc, thank you as always for the information. We'll be checking back in with you regularly over the next couple of days.
All right, sounds good.
Yes, sir. There he is, Dr. Steve Caparotta, checking in from WAFB this morning as he gives you the latest on the weather here in South Louisiana. As it has been snowy, it has been wet, it has been slick, it has been icy, and it has not been cool for the Jordy Culotta show. We are very irresponsible over here. We did not have any drip on any faucet last night, which means that the pipes are frozen. We are begging for sunshine at some point to peek their head through, not only to melt this ice off the trees, but to give us some flowing water. Lloyd and I stink. We've been locked up in the undisclosed. Never crossed our mind. I mean, stayed up late, production meetings, looking into the future. It's bright over here at the Jordy Culotta show, and we got no water. We got no water. Tom Granning is inside of the bunker. Shout out to Tom, who is over, I believe, in South Mississippi, talking about his store being open today and that he served up about 90 pizzas open from 9 to 5 yesterday. Tom, if you send me that address, I'll promote it for our listeners, because it was a ghost town here in South Louisiana, in Baton Rouge yesterday. I was able to get out late in the afternoon. I mean, grocery stores closed. Gas stations closed. I mean, anything that was...
Anything of any convenience
and again...
But good.
Very unprepared. You know what I mean? Very unprepared over here at the undisclosed location with no food, no water. All we have is nerds. All we have is nerds to eat. Yeah, that's right. We've got coffee by the pounds, but we've got no water to filter it through.
Just put a lip in.
So, look, man, it is dark times here early on at the undisclosed location, but we're absolutely going to make it through.
We got power and we got audio.
And we're going to answer your questions in the second hour. We're going to talk to Hunt Palmer coming up here in 10 minutes. We are going to talk to Frank Wilson of McNeese State, the head coach over there with the Cowboys, is going to stop by. And then later in the show today, late in hour 2, Shazz Preston, who is the number 1 wide receiver for the class of 2022. Lloyd and I were watching some of his highlights last night.
Buddy,
he's as close to Jamar Chase as I think we've seen. There's nobody I have seen since Chase that just looks like him. It's tough to compare anybody to Chase because he's the best wide receiver in the NFL draft this season. But just athleticism, jumping ability,
attacking the
mentality.
Dog.
I mean, the guy is an absolute dog. So he's going to stop by here at the end of hour 2. Shazz Preston out of St. James is going to be here. Looking forward to that conversation. If you're into recruiting, make sure and spread the word. Like, share, comment. We are 10 users away over at the Jordy Culotta YouTube station. I know that we've been promoting giving away gear. We are giving away gear this morning if we can get to 5,000. We're 10 away. So just like, share, tell your friend, text it out, tweet it out, however you communicate with people that may or may not be subscribers to the Jordy Culotta Show YouTube station. Get in touch with them this morning, and let's get to 5,000. We get to 5,000, we'll do some cool stuff with
Tom Granning will give away a pizza.
That's right. Let's see. Tom Granning is in Natchez. And he's going to be open about 10 o'clock this morning. So if you're in South Mississippi, if you're around that area, around the Natchez area, go see our friend Tom Granning, who is actually one of our Super Bowl board winners that we owe some gear to. We know that, Tom. You've got gear in the mail. You've got gear in the mail headed your way. All right, happy Mardi Gras to you. We will talk to Hunt Palmer about some LSU baseball and this LSU basketball team coming up here in 10 minutes. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at rmb-builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. So if you got to get in touch with our guy, Bradley Lynch, over at Advanta Clean, it's not going to be a good day for you. But the good news is if you give him a call at 369-5228, he'll take care of everything. Water, fire, mold. If you feel water on the carpet when you wake up, if you smell fire, if you see mold, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at Advanta Clean, online at advantaclean.com. Call him locally, 369-5228 with a 225 area code. He'll take care of everything. From dealing with the insurance company to coming over, diagnosing the problem, he'll be there within that day. Online at advantaclean.com. Water, fire, mold. advantaclean.com and our good friend Bradley Lynch, 369-5228. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Happy carnival time to you out there, wherever you're catching us this morning here on the Jordy Culotta Show, as it is Mardi Gras Day.
I was catching some beads.
Here, yes, man. It's a great day, even though if it was being celebrated and the city was being, and you could even move around in the city, I would be nowhere to be found on a day like today.
I'd be everywhere and nowhere, dude.
I mean, this weather is miserable.
This is the sweet life for
It is
the Mardi Gras
miserable.
party.
Dr. Steve Caparotta, we appreciate him stopping by a couple of minutes ago, giving us an update on what the next couple of days could look like. It looks like it's going to get nasty again tomorrow with heavy rainstorms, with freezing weather. Sheesh. So we appreciate Dr. Steve Caparotta stopping by. We'll probably have him back on tomorrow morning. Hunt Palmer's going to be here in a couple of minutes. Looking forward to talking to Hunt about LSU basketball, LSU baseball getting set. Let me give you a couple of guidelines. Lloyd, if you want to go to the document here and pull up in the 7:15 hour.
I'm there, baby.
You see the fan guidelines for the box?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you read those off while I get Hunt on the phone for our listeners here?
All right, so fan guidelines for 2021 baseball at the box. To accommodate and to comply with public health guidelines, LSU is implementing numerous changes to its game day policies. Alex Box will be open up to 25% capacity. So a little mental math there, that's about 2,500.
Hey, buddy.
Oh,
30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I got you. About 2,500 people will be allowed in. You have to wear a face mask on campus and an Alex Box. Little workaround there. If you buy a beer, I'd imagine you can take that sucker off and, chug a lug. Physical distancing will also be mandatory, so, no getting lucky in the 7th inning stretch. Season ticket holders that opted out for the 2021 year have been given the opportunity to select their ticket, so you get the pick of the litter. The ticket office is in contact with those ticket holders, if you're lucky enough, on the next steps in the distribution process. So it sounds like that's a little work-in process for them as well.
LSU baseball going to kick off or pitch off their season this Friday night versus Air Force. It is going to be cold, as I believe Doug Thompson told us last week. There is nothing more miserable in athletics than a cold baseball game as a competitor. Hunt Palmer is an LSU baseball junkie. He works over at the network over there. You can catch him on the pre and post game for LSU football. He does a fantastic job. And you know his voice. You're very familiar with it. Hunt, good morning. How are you? I hope you're warm.
I'm not very warm. I haven't had power for, I guess, about 26 hours now, and it's 52 in my house right now.
Frozen pipes at the house?
No, we got water dripping out of all the faucets. As far as we know, nothing's frozen or exploded, but it's cold. I'm not thrilled about it.
Frozen pipes at the undisclosed location. Very irresponsible. We did keep somehow we are on the little piece of the grid that has kept electricity in this area. We will not tell you that area, but we do we are on the strip of electricity that has kept power here. So hopefully we can do that. But we would really love the water back at some point. That is our fault, and we screwed that up.
I get married next Friday, and we're going to South Beach for the honeymoon. And I'm sitting here looking at these maps, and it's still 80 down there. It's the only place in the country that's functioning at this point, and I'm just ready to go now. The look at America right now with the temperature gauges is incredible. When you look at just the entire country is frozen except for Florida. I mean, Florida's got 70-degree temperatures while the rest of us are just freezing. Hunt, how fired up are you for Friday night? I'm ready to roll. I'm not quite there in terms of expectation as I usually am. I've still got a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth from the product that I watched for 4 weeks last year. But that doesn't mean the guys can't step up and get better. So, hope springs eternal, I guess they say all this time. I mean, in football, you have a couple of bad weeks, and around here, your goals are shot. Baseball, that's not the case. A season is a journey, and you kind of hop on, and it's going to take you on some highs and some lows. You hope that at the end's higher than the middle, and that's generally been the case with pulmonary teams, but I'm going to need to see this one. Why did you have a bad taste in your mouth after a month last season? What was the issue? I just didn't feel offensively that there was a talented enough team. They weren't going to be able to hit. I mean, you talk about a team that got shut out by a school that I've never heard of, UMass Lowell. You're talking about a team that got no hit on a Sunday in Houston. Just 1 through 9, they weren't nearly potent enough on offense, and I just didn't see that changing as you got into SEC play. A lot of those guys are back. Obviously, Cabrera and Garza moved on, but got a lot of guys back that need to step up. You got a lot of freshmen and guys that were freshmen last year, and I guess they're still freshmen that have a chance to prove themselves. And there's talent here in terms of what's gone on in recruiting cycles, and there's some ability, but none of it is proven. Outside of Veloso, just about nobody has done anything with the bat at this level, so I'm going to need to see it. Who's the one name that you anticipate making the biggest change in that department? I think the safest bet there is probably Cade Doty. Everyone's going to say Dylan Cruz, and I expect him to have a really nice year too, because everyone that knows what they're talking about that has seen him play has raved. But I think Doty, he hit the ball hard last year, and a lot of times it ended up in the glove somewhere. and he's a highly touted kid. And I just think after, playing some in the summer where he hit the ball well, and then coming back and what we've seen from some of the X velocities and whatnot over the last few weeks here in spring practice, I think Doty's going to be a really nice middle fielder piece for him.
Milazzo, to me, is a guy that they were so high on last season, but then the more you talk to people around the program, it seems like when you have a catcher, whether it be at any level, it changes the mentality of your team. And everybody I talk to around LSU baseball that's connected to the program, they say they've got a dude behind the plate. What do you make of Milazzo, and how much does he give you every day to the mentality of the group?
Well, that's the most important defensive position by a mile. I mean, shortstop's really important, and you got to have somebody go get it to center field. I get all that, but you got to have somebody at catcher that can control the game and can give your pitching staff confidence. One, to bounce breaking balls with two strikes, especially with guys, on third base. And you've got to have a guy that can help control the running game. 2 years ago, it was just a wind sprints for the other team on the bases, and that's difficult on the pitcher. It puts more pressure on you not to even let anybody get on base because they're going to end up with second or third, and obviously it creates a lot more opportunities for runs. Inevitably, it'll create more runs, and he's excellent back there at throwing guys out. And then there's another piece to it that's the demeanor piece, that's a swagger piece that I think he's got a little bit of that as well. Papirski had some of that. Even when he wasn't hitting all the time, he had a little bit of an edge to him back there, and certainly had a big arm and was really good defensively blocking balls up. And that just, especially when you got a guy like Alex Lang, who's got that vicious breaking ball, that he needs confidence that he can bounce that thing, and he could. And LSU's got guys on this staff that have some stuff like that. Landon Marceau's slider is excellent. He needs to know he can bury that thing when he needs to, and not have to worry about one, the guy hitting it, or two, it getting away. We know how electric Jaden Hill's stuff is. I mean, he's got to have that confidence too. So, yeah, Milazzo is a great piece, and probably a guy that, when you look at the signing class on paper last year, was not one that was going to jump off the page. But certainly, he proved in 4 weeks that he belonged.
Explain the move of Cade Beloso to left field to me. Is that to open up a spot for Trey Morgan, or is that for him to transition possibly to the next level? What was the move made for?
I think it's all of that. I mean, I think Pulmonary, first and foremost, his job is to win baseball games at LSU. But he's also got a responsibility to some of these players to give their interests some thought, especially at the next level. We've seen guys move around. Blake Dean came back and had an opportunity to play first base full time. They moved Greg Dykman to the outfield to show that he could be a corner outfielder at the professional level. And none of those decisions are made solely because we got to worry about professional baseball. But there is some of that goes into it. Clearly, they think Trey Morgan is a run saver at first base. And Hester and I have talked about this some, just talking about how important it is to have a really good first. What a luxury it is to have a great first baseman. Our professional teams, the Braves and the Cubs, have great defensive first basemen. They save runs because infielders make bad throws all the time, especially college ones. So if they see that and think that they can save some runs, especially with the LSU left side of the defense that may not be super at this point early in the year, that's huge to do that. And you want Beloso's bat in the lineup. As I said, he's the only proven guy you've got. So the only place you can put him, because he's left-handed and doesn't run all that great, is in the corner outfield. He can't go anywhere else. So they're going to give that a shot. And if it doesn't look good, then you take it down. But LSU's had some good hitters that weren't elite athletes, that were very serviceable left fielders. Ray Grimes did a nice job out in left field. Bo Jordan did a nice job out in left field. That's not a spot where you're going to get hurt. But they've got some options to put Gavin Dugas out there, put Drew Bianco out there, and then some of the younger players maybe in Beloso can DH if that's got to happen. But they see that Morgan's bat's going to be in there, and they might as well put him in a great defensive spot there. His best defensive spot is the first base.
Hunt Palmer joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show, where we're driven and powered every day by Go Chevrolet. This freshman class coming in, another heralded class for Nolan Kane and Paul Maneri. They have arms, they have athletes, they've got position players. Who stands out to you?
Well, I mean, I'd love to give you some super answer, but it's Cruz. I've heard multiple guys who know what they're talking about, who've seen him swing the bat, and there's some there's some special tendencies there. And then, of course, you expect that because it's a guy who's mentioned in the first round of the Major League Draft. There just aren't that many people who get mentioned in the first round of the Major League Baseball Draft. That speed's there. His body's already filled out there. He's going to swing and miss. He's going to strike out probably a good bit early in the year. Now, there's going to be some loud hits, some home runs as well, too. He's going to strike out a little bit. But once he gets used to seeing this kind of pitching, he's gonna be a force. There's no question about it. And I think one guy that Maneri hadn't talked a ton about, but that I saw in the fall and just kind of liked some of the tools that I saw on the mound is Ty Floyd. And I don't know where he fits in. Certainly weekend rotations there. They've got the high leverage guys in the bullpen are all back. I mean, Fontenot's going to be there, and of course Beck and Hilliard, Bittmeyer. I think they've got the guys that they think are going to man those spots early. So it's easy to get Floyd into some low leverage spots where he's got 5, 6, 7 runs, or unfortunately, if they had to be down 5, 6, 7 runs in an early game, you can get him out there, get his feet wet. He's got a fastball that can bump up to 93, but it's probably going to sit around 90, 91, and the breaking ball is pretty good. So I don't know if you'll see him start a midweek game. You'll see him come into a game where LSU's got a lead, but I kind of like Ty Floyd.
How good is the frontline pitching? Do we know how good they can be, or is this all on potential?
Well, it's all on potential because, I mean, Jaden Hill's thrown like 21 innings. Marceau's, had a good number of starts and has not really shown that he's a dominant pitcher to this point. Labus battled injuries for a little bit and has shown some flashes. Midweek game against Louisiana Tech 3 years ago, he was dominant in the no-hitter game against Oklahoma over in Houston on that Sunday, but has not put together a season. So, I mean, the hypothetical that I was talking about the other day is if you gave me Lang and Poche from the 17 team, or gave me these guys to start the year, knowing what I know, I'm going to go with Lang and Poche because they're proven. But neither one of those guys could throw 98 miles an hour with a nasty slider and a good changeup, which Jaden Hill can. And Landon Marceau was a potential top 50 pick in the draft coming out of high school, which Poche was not. And we'll see if these guys can live up to it. The potential's certainly there, and I'm excited about that. I'm really, really bullish on Marceau. I think he's going to have a really, really good year. I've seen too much of it in non-meaningful action out there at the box over the last couple of years, and I believe in it. I think the slider's really going to play. I think he's going to command the fastball, and we'll see what kind of ace we get from Jaden Hill, but I'm bullish on Marceau.
Hut Palmer joining us here on the Jordy Culotta show as LSU baseball. I've seen that the times have been adjusted for this weekend's start. LSU will now meet Air Force in the opening game at 4 o'clock on Friday instead of the originally scheduled 7 o'clock start time. The first pitch for LSU Notre Dame has been moved to 4 o'clock on the Saturday time slot. So both games now starting at 4 o'clock this weekend at the box between Air Force and LSU. I know that you like to go out and watch fall ball year in, year out. You didn't have that luxury this season because of the restrictions at the box. What do you anticipate baseball to look like once it gets up and moving, being that LSU always does have such a dominant home field advantage? But with the restrictions this season, what do you anticipate the game to look like?
Well, I think early on, it's going to be pretty, there's not going to be a ton of people out there. But the fact of the matter is that the days of LSU getting routinely 8,500, 9,000 people in the box are over because the SEC Network put it on TV every single game. I can watch every game on my phone. That used to be able to watch almost no games. You wanted to watch LSU baseball, you had to go, and that's what it was. It's not that anymore. Midweek games, they get 2,200 people in there. Friday night games in conference against some sort of, Georgia or Missouri, you're getting 5,000. I mean, that's the reality. Now, you get a super regional in there with Jonathan Gray and Aaron Nola, they'll fill every seat. Yeah. But that's not the case all the time. So I don't think it's going to be wildly different. I think if you got 2,500 people in there, it'll feel, fairly normal. Now, hopefully, as the vaccines roll out and as, we get some warmer weather and people get a little more confident, we can lose some of the restrictions, and maybe, by middle of May, end of May, we can have half capacity and have 5,000 people in there, then it'll feel pretty normal, I think. I mean, I realize it's not the most popular thing to say, and it sounds blasphemous to talk about LSU baseball attendance, but I've been out there for the last 2 years. It's not packed almost ever.
You mentioned Cruz. You mentioned Beloso. Do you expect some power and some pop in this lineup?
Cruz has pop. Beloso does. I think Jordy can hit some home runs as well. As I go around the lineup, I don't see I think Gavin Dugas has got some thunder in his bat if he can figure it out. I mean, he and Bianco have not done much. They've been here now 3 years and have not really produced at all. But there is a little bit of pop there. And we'll see if Travinsky gets in the lineup. I don't anticipate that, but he's a big dude. Can hit it a long way if he becomes a DH. But it's not a super powerful team. I think they need to hit a lot of doubles. They need to draw some walks, and they need to have enough guys in the lineup that can swing the bat to where they get enough 2-out hits. I think a lot, and it'll happen again this year because it's the favorite thing for people that are baseball fans to talk about over a 56-game schedule. You'll hear the term, they don't hit in the clutch. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not a thing.
Right.
You don't become a better hitter with a runner on second base with 2 outs. You're either a good hitter, so you get more hits then, or you're not a good hitter, and you don't. There's never been a career 205 major league hitter that hit 296 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs because he was a good clutch hitter, just not a hitter that was good outside of that. It's the thing that makes me roll my eyes the most when I hear talk about baseball. But hopefully you've got enough good hitters to where you get enough big hits and score enough runs to win some of these really close games. There are going to be a ton of close games in SEC play this year because of the amount of talent that's on the mound. So you've got to scratch across enough to help your pitching staff do it, and hopefully these guys can.
Will you be picking up any responsibility on the network for baseball season?
Not at this point, I don't think.
Hire me as your damn agent. Let's get this done, for God's sakes. Good Lord. Get some representation. I've got open time now. I can do this for you. Just let me know, man.
Put a reel together.
Good Lord. We appreciate it, Hunt. We'll be touching you again soon. This is going to be a weekly thing. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
All right, Jordy. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Hunt Palmer checking in this morning from the LSU Sports Radio Network. You can check him out on the pre- and post-game of LSU football games, but for whatever reason, they will not put that man on a baseball call, and that would be the end of it. Just put him on the baseball broadcast and call it a day, for God's sakes. I mean, that would be incredible. And look, I love Doug Thompson. He's the best. But Dougie can't make every game. He's tied into his kids. He loves being at the Little League Park. He's as crazy as a dad as you'll find anywhere in South Louisiana. I'm just saying, when he can't make it, throw old Hunt in there and see what happens, man. Hunt's great on the baseball. He's great everywhere. But his passion for baseball is we didn't even talk to him about basketball.
He loves that too.
Yeah, and we'll get to it. We'll get to a little basketball coming up here. But first, thank you out there. We have just cleared the 5,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. In fact, Whitney Bro for the super chat, and then old Slat McCollum for getting in with a $20 super chat, which we very much appreciate here on the on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, we will be handing away gear for getting to 5,000. Make sure and continue to like, subscribe, chat, share, tell everybody about what's going on here. We're brought to you by AdvantaClean. I spoke to a lot of people yesterday that were dealing with leaks in their roof, leaks around their house, leaks around their office. If you've got water damage, if you've got mold damage, if you smell fire and see smoke damage, get in touch with our friend Bradley Lynch over at AdvantaClean. Easy to get in touch with him online at AdvantaClean, ADVANTA, clean.com. AdvantaClean is online at AdvantaClean.com. They're located right here in Baton Rouge, and you can call Bradley today at 369-5228. Here's the peace of mind that you get when you call AdvantaClean. He's going to work directly with the insurance company, and after you call Bradley, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about dealing with the construction, dealing with the personnel, dealing with the insurance company. He's going to come in, diagnose it, and he's going to take care of it. This is a personal testimony, man. I know firsthand. I called him on Christmas Day. I saw a water spot on the roof. I just shot him a text message with a picture of it. 5 minutes later, we're on the phone, and he's asking if he can be over at my house on Christmas Day before lunch to diagnose the problem. Online at advantaclean.com, ADVANTA clean.com. Call them at 369-5228. Advanta Clean of Baton Rouge. We'll be back to close out hour one. Remember, Frank Wilson of the McNeese State Cowboys will be here in 10 minutes talking about the emotional win for his group in week one at the top of hour two here, the Jordy Culotta Show presented by Go Chevrolet. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Spillers of Johnson and Spillers Dentistry with two locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge between Segan Lane and Bluebonnet, offer everything from ceramic crowns to pediatric dentistry, dental cleanings, Botox, extractions. They're online at johnsonspillers.com. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge, seeing both new patients and existing patients, log online to johnsonspillers.com. That is the Gus Bus remix right there as we roll into the end of the hour here, hour one. Appreciate Hunt Palmer for stopping by here on the Jordy Culotta Show, which is daily presented by Go Chevrolet. Carl Dunn didn't think there was a crazier dad than Culotta. Katie Allgood inside of the bunker. Carl, there's not. He's deflecting. That's true. Tiger Leg 24. Jordy, you need to stay in the chair. You look more comfortable. We'll workshop it.
I don't know, man. That spot, if you've ever been in the spot,
The couch.
that place is...
With the new cushions.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate the super chats, Slat, Whitney Bro, for being out there. We're at 5,000 subscribers now on YouTube. We're fired up about that over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. Thank you for being out there. Remember, we have merchandise available. We'll be handing some merchandise away for getting to 5,000 here on the Jordy Culotta Show. But we were playing the wheels in the bus go round and round for Gus Malzahn. What a day for Malzahn. What a day for Jimmy Sexton. What a day for the group as Malzahn is hired by Central Florida. He's going to be their next head coach. Details came out on the contract for Malzahn at UCF. 5-year, $11.5 million contract. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad in today's coaching climate. The bigger story is that the $21.5 million buyout that Malzahn is owed from Auburn, not mitigated on his next job, not touched. A lot of schools on buyouts will put some type of offset language where if you get another job, however much that job is, you'll compensate there. A lot like the Les Miles Kansas situation.
We know all too well.
Absolutely. Sexton.
Not playing that game.
In Malzahn's latest contract, when he re-signed on the Plains just a couple of years ago, after the latest time of beating Saban. That's usually the best time to get to the contract table.
You know, we should,
Yes,
we should
indeed.
talk.
Right, he's done it 3 times, and I think he's gotten 3 new contracts over at Auburn. But the latest buyout states that if you fire my client, you will owe him every cent of that buyout, including if he gets another job. And yesterday when Malzahn was introduced at his new 5-year, $11.5 million gig, he still had the peace of mind and the security that he's got $21.5 million on the way. He's already got he already got a lot of it.
Half.
He got half of it up front, and then I think he'll have like $14,000 payments over the next so long per month to
Bobby
get there.
Bonilla
Yeah,
clause.
man, just
That's a nice stroll to the mailbox.
the lifetime contract. Which good for Gus, man. I got to say, when I first saw this, I felt good for Gus. I thought this is a good gig. I thought that UCF got a steal.
Perfect spot for him.
It is, man.
No pressure of having to win every single. I mean, how many times do we talk about Gus Malzahn hot seat? It's a constant. And then he beats Alabama, and they've had 2 toddies up in the owner's suite. And like, sign him again.
Very familiar with recruiting the state of Alabama and Georgia, which are kind of pockets of Central Florida's secondary recruiting grounds. But you're in the state of Florida, man. I mean, all you got to do is just pick up recruits numbers 35 through 50. You know what I mean? The guys that the big boys don't really want, the guys that are coming in and may not be touchable from a big D1 power school. I think Malzahn is sitting in a primo spot for a coaching talent like him at this part of his career, after being as established as he's become in college football. I think that the UCF fit with Malzahn, because really after Frost's reign there, I never thought Heupel was able to get it back. And I know that what Frost was doing and what he was accomplishing there, that was a gold standard. I mean, that really kind of set the bar. And
it's not something they expected to have happen,
No, it wasn't. I mean, really, look at Frost's stock. I mean, when he was at Nebraska, he got offered the Florida job. Think he'd like to have that choice back?
Right.
He'd like to have that.
I like my alma mater.
Yeah, right. It was cool, man, but you'll never relive those 4 years that you had in Lincoln. Give it up, dude. Who cares? Make a business decision. Go to Gainesville and coach in the SEC. Yeah, get a life, man. But Heupel, that was kind of surprising seeing him get the Tennessee job after what he did at Central. I didn't think that he didn't show that he accomplished as high as Frost. Frost kind of built the ceiling, built the bar, and I didn't think that. I didn't think that
they were in scramble mode a little bit too.
They were, and they got some trouble. They got some trouble coming.
You got the AD and coaching pairings. Like, well, I'll just call my guy, and then we'll have a coach in place instead of kind of wait and see. Like, okay, now we have to hire a new AD, we have to hire a new coach, so let's just do one fell swoop. And it's a name that people know, so it's not a terrible hire. But I agree, it didn't have the same luster that
it didn't have the
Frost
cachet.
did. Yeah.
But maybe Heupel could be the guy. He was Heupel at he's an offensive coordinator that came over to Central Florida. Brian Fletcher said he maintained the program. I don't think he put it in the. By no means did he put it in the toilet. Did he put it in the graveyard?
No.
But I think that there is a higher ceiling. I think there is a higher accomplishing level at Central Florida than what Josh Heupel saw. And it's not Scott Frost every year where you go undefeated and you beat some of the big boys.
You're claiming natties.
Yeah. But I do think that there is a spot between, in the power pecking order of college football for Central Florida. I mean, I think that there's just too many resources and quite frankly, I mean, there's too many players. I mean, there's just too. Look at Louisiana Lafayette. I mean, they've changed their recruiting methods, and we'll talk to Frank Wilson about this coming up in 3 minutes. Wilson knows this better than anybody, right? I mean, we'll ask him his recruiting philosophy at a school like McNeese when he understands the value of the state of Louisiana. I think Gus Malzahn will understand that really you can recruit Central Florida on a tank of gas. I mean, if your assistant coaches get into their car from the facility, they shouldn't have to go outside of a tank of gas to build your roster.
It's a hotbed for recruiting.
It is the hottest of beds.
Your backyard, somebody's playing good.
I mean, you're sitting in Louisiana where per capita it's as rich as any state that offers. Texas, California, Florida. But when you get into those states where they just have the numbers,
you can't miss.
I mean, you can miss, but it's tough.
Right.
I mean, when you've got the experience that Gus Malzahn has, when it seems like he's going to have the resources that are already set in place, it looks like he'll have a good enough budget to bring in coaches, development guys, shadow staff. I mean, there's no reason why you can't win big at Central Florida. Year in, year out, consistently.
And he doesn't have to deal with like the SEC fan base that is meddling in your business day in and day out.
I mean, think about what he did at Arkansas State.
Right.
When he was at Arkansas State, out of the spotlight of the SEC. I mean, he was there for a year. I believe he was dominant. Next season, it was Hugh Freeze. I mean, that Arkansas State kind of turned into a revolving door of a coaching factory. Yeah. But yeah, I think that Gus is a great fit there. I expect UCF not to win national championships and not to be in the college football playoff every year, but I expect them to make some noise. I expect them to be on people's schedule where you say, "Oof, look out for Central Florida. Watch out for them, man." I mean, I don't know if you want to play them at this spot. But more than anything, what Gus is doing is my man's at the bank, breaking the bank. Jimmy Sexton is a dog, is a beast. I mean, the latest language scripted in to Malzahn's contract after his extension, and I believe 2018, after the last time he beat Nick Saban, which is Sexton's top client. Sexton's at the negotiating table with the Auburn brass and states, if you terminate or fire my client without cause, you owe him every single dime of his buyout, including if he gets a new job. So yesterday, when Malzahn agrees to 5-year and $11.5 million contract with Central Florida, he's still got the 21.5 heading his way from Auburn. Good for you, Gus. Good for you, Gus. Next, when we come back, Frank Wilson, McNeese State. What a weekend for the Cowboys. What a weekend for Coach Wilson and his group as they get a week 1 win in spring football, and they're off and rolling. We'll talk to him next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet. Remember, daily, we are brought to you by Angel Oak Home Mortgage. I am fired up to be on the team over at Angel Oak Home Mortgage. Good friends of mine, Matt Lanassa and Lee Gilly, have extended the invitation. I've got the testing set up coming up here in a couple of days, and I'm going to be on the team and looking forward to it. If you're looking for creative ways to mortgage your house, if you're looking for creative ways to refinance your business or your house, you can get in touch with the Angel Oak Home Mortgage team with Matt Lanassa, Lee Gilly, and the crew by emailing me, Jordy at JordyCulottaShow.com, and we will get that moving. Angel Oak Home Mortgage, a proud sponsor here of the Jordy Culotta Show. Frank Wilson next. So if you got to get in touch with our guy, Bradley Lynch, over at Advanta Clean, it's not going to be a good day for you. But the good news is if you give him a call at 369-5228, he'll take care of everything. Water, fire, mold. If you feel water on the carpet when you wake up, if you smell fire, if you see mold, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at AdvantaClean, online at AdvantaClean.com. Call him locally, 369-5228 with a 225 area code. He'll take care of everything. From dealing with the insurance company to coming over, diagnosing the problem, he'll be there within that day. Online at AdvantaClean.com. Water, fire, mold. AdvantaClean.com and our good friend Bradley Lynch, 369-5228. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate.
You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show with Rivers Huey, presented by Go Chevrolet.
What a weekend for our guy, man. Our next guest, who's going to be a weekly here on the Jordy Culotta Show, and we are fired up about that. He's a good friend of mine, and now he's the head coach of McNeese football. And I don't think it gets any better than the experience of the Cowboys in Week 1 as they were down at Tarleton. Remember, we talked to we talked to Coach Frank Wilson last week as he was getting prepared in what has just been a crazy offseason, man. I mean, there's just really no way to explain it. Outside of the COVID stuff, the city of Lake Charles in southwest Louisiana has dealt with 2 hurricanes, massive hurricanes, life-changing hurricanes. Their stadium was underwater, and just last weekend, they get a Week 1 double overtime win versus Tarleton, 40-37. Ed Ogeron's son Cody was the hero of the game, but it was a team effort, man. It was a fantastic game to watch, and I can imagine an exciting locker room to be in as the McNeese State Cowboys are in preparation for Week 2, and we're joined by their head guy, Coach Frank Wilson, as he got the win. Congratulations on your first win as a Cowboy. I don't know if you'll be able to recapture the excitement that you experienced during that contest, but what a Week 1 performance by your squad and win, Coach. You got it, Coach?
I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I'm here. Just thank you, guys. I didn't hear your question. It just said coach when you came in. So if you asked me a question, I didn't hear it.
I just said I don't know if you'll ever be able to recapture the excitement of that Week 1 win, but what a absolute start for you, the Cowboys, and getting off and getting set sailing for a 40-37 double overtime win for your group. Congratulations on that win.
Yes, thank you so much. And Jordy, just like an omen, here's what happens today. We wake up to freezing cold with pipes burst and no power, baby.
God.
That's a good sign for us. So we're in the building right now with no power. How about that?
It's the life of a Cowboy, right? I mean, since you've gotten there, you've dealt with hurricanes, you've dealt with COVID, you've dealt with your facility and football field being underwater. But whatever the task, whatever the assignment, you guys show up. You had to be so proud of your group last Saturday.
We're so very proud of them. You know, in pregame, we put it in perspective of being a part of the first ever NC2A spring football season, and being the first team to be able to play, and having a platform to go out and do what we do, and said to our kids, you know, being you will be good enough. Whatever the outcome is, just go play. Go play the game the way that you've been trained to play, like you've played your entire life, and go represent yourselves. Go represent the city of Lake Charles. Go represent Southwest Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, and show the heart that you're made of. Let your personality show. I thought our team did that. I thought we started fast and finished fast in a manner that defines who this football program is, who we are as a state and as a university as well.
Can you talk about Cody Ogeron's performance? 3 touchdown passes for him. 2 of those come in the last 2 minutes to give you guys a chance in OT. Then he shows off his athleticism with the scramble, Coach. I know the numbers don't glare, but it just seems like when you had to have it, he made it.
Yeah, he came through clutch. You know, he had a great week of preparation. We went out and we started fast. We go up 10-0 on them. They make some adjustments, close the gap, and it's 10-10 now at halftime. We go a second and third quarter and just about the entire fourth quarter without getting things going. And we finally found a crack. Mm-hmm. And he and the receivers hit on those guys, hit those spots and connected well. The run game began to come along. He settled down and, there weren't easy balls. And, it was about 15 degrees when we were playing. And so we prepared for that. We told them throughout the week prior to that, we had a couple of rainy, sleet days where it got into the 30s here. But with wind and rain made it feel that way. And we said to our team, that's the football gods preparing you for the moment. I prepared them like we were the Green Bay Packers going to play in the frozen tundra and it's going to be 0. So expect that. All right. And so it connected, man. He really calmed down and found those receivers. They caught him. We had a couple of drops early on. We protected and connected. And then when we got in situations where the play had to be made, whether it was with his feet or his arms, the offense and Cody Ogeron were able to pick up those very, very important aspects of the game for us.
How do you like your leadership on this team being able to handle a week 1 emotional win after so much time away from the game and then getting back into preparation and what seems like you guys are going to have to deal with adversity again this week?
Yeah, so, when we kind of identified it had been 447 games since the last time we played a football game.
Wow.
And probably 420 since we had on full pads. And so it wasn't until January that we put on full pads. So we had every reason to try to make an excuse, but we didn't. We knew we were going against a very quality opponent, one that was 11-1 a year ago, one that had beaten other Southland Conference teams a year ago in times in the past. But at the end of the day, it was about us and doing what the things we needed to do to execute to come out victorious. And that adversity, as I shared with you last week, Jordy, I thought made us or brought us closer together. I think the team rallied behind one another. Once we went down 14, we threw a pick. It's inside 4 minutes. We gather our team on the sideline. We talk to them about what's next. Here's what's next. We're going to stuff their ass. We're going to get the ball back. We're going to go down and score. All right. After we score, we'll get an onside kick and we'll score again.
Wow.
And we're going to win this football game. And lo and behold, it kind of unfolded just like that.
Wow. This is the power and greatness of you. That was your first game as a McNeese coach, and it feels like when I think of the program, you have already branded your face. I see your face when I see McNeese State football, and you're only 1 game into your career there, and I think a lot of it came through on a picture that was taken in the post game that just caught your emotion. It just caught your. It felt like a release. If you see the picture, I'm retweeting it right now at my account. We'll retweet it from the Jordy Culotta show to give you an idea. But it looks like you're like releasing all of this emotion into your locker room and letting your kids see that, guys, this is it, man. This is what we've been training for.
Well, you know what? It was. We just wanted to play the game. Mm-hmm. Let's just get to the game. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Guys have left. This has happened. That has happened. just get us to a game. If we get to a game, we'll be okay. And we got to a game, and we were tested, and we had to dig deep. And it was something we talked about, that they're not going to give it to you. No one has empathy for you when you're playing that game. There is no self-pity, which is one of the short poems that we share with our team about self-pity. You got to go play. You got to go play, man. And that's what we're going to go do. And so I think it was a culmination of getting to the game, and it was so much bigger than our football team. But our administration, our president, our governor, our VPs, the community, small business owners feeding our team when we had nothing, local hotels putting us up when we had nothing. And we just wanted to play well for the city. We wanted to play well for Southwest Louisiana. We wanted to play well for Louisiana. We wanted to play well for all the alumni who gave their everything to give us a chance to play in this new norm of a shortened season in this spring. And so regardless of what the outcome, we just want to go play to the best of our ability. And so I think what you saw at the end, the exasperation, and if you were in that locker room and there's tears and there's tears of joy and sigh of relief, and it's just like, okay, we got that one over. Yep. We finally got through it, all right? Yeah. And it wasn't, and in perspective, we know it's one game. We didn't win a bowl game, a playoff game, or anything, but it was so monumental when you put in perspective 440-plus days since the game was played. We just never knew when we could get to the start line, if you will.
This is week 3 of our show. It is really starting to, we're getting some analytics back on it, and it's really popping in South Louisiana along the I-10 corridor of New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. I wonder how do you handle recruiting in season? What is your message to potential recruits while you guys are playing?
Yeah, so for us, it's constant feedback, Jordy. We first of all, congratulations on the Jordy Culotta show. I couldn't be more thrilled to be here. And to be a piece of something I think is going to blow up. Just don't kick me off the show now when you become national. All right,
Coach, you're here to stay, because when we go national, there ain't no telling where you're going to be. We're riding with you, man.
All right. And so we reached out, man. Immediately after the game, we started hitting our recruits up and our signees and putting it out there. If you didn't watch, here's what happened today. What a great day it is to be a Cowboy. Who's next? We envision you doing this for us, et cetera. That Friday night, no different than we did in all my years at LSU and everywhere else. We had film evaluation, recruiting calls, and all that. The only thing different, we didn't have game results because it's usually Friday night. You get it Saturday morning. But we went through our regular ritual. We didn't flinch at all. We went through it. Got up yesterday, did the same thing, follow up, DMs, text, got feedback from guys, offered about 7 guys last night, and we'll continue to do so. So, our offering process is a little slower here because we want to be more detailed. We don't necessarily do the contingent offer. If we offer you in the state of Louisiana, it's a binding, committable offer. Mm-hmm. And that's just who I am. That's who we are as former high school coaches. Cut our teeth here, lay our head here. We don't compromise. We don't do that kind of thing. So we're a little slower than some, only because it's sincere when we're in the state of Louisiana. And so we're getting there, and we're building up that the class of 2022 right now to get ready to go.
Started as O.P. Walker High School, went on to be the athletics director for the city of New Orleans, budded to the most dominant college football recruiter, and now he is McNeese head football coach, Frank Wilson. He's with us every week here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We are fired up about that. Being a New Orleans native, I know it's not a typical carnival day, but happy Mardi Gras to you and the family. Enjoy it, Coach Wilson, and congratulations on the Week 1 win, and best of luck in Week 2.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir.
Happy Mardi Gras, everybody.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to Coach Wilson next week of McNeese State football. That is a conversation that we are really looking forward to each week here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We're weekly. We're brought to you by Rhett Bourgeois and RMB Builders. Remember, you can get in touch with Rhett at 921-7062. Call Rhett today if you were looking for a residential construction. If you were in the market for a house that you want to custom build, Rhett can help you with that today. If you're in the commercial world and you need help, whether it would be on rebuilding, on remodeling, on a commercial project, Rhett Bourgeois can help you over at RMB Builders. That's RMB-builders.com. RMB-builders.com. Rhett Bourgeois at 921-7062. We'll answer your questions for the Jordy Culotta Show next when we come back. So if you got to get in touch with our guy, Bradley Lynch, over at Advanta Clean, it's not going to be a good day for you. But the good news is if you give him a call at 369-5228, he'll take care of everything. Water, fire, mold. If you feel water on the carpet when you wake up, if you smell fire, if you see mold, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at Advanta Clean, online at AdvantaClean.com. Call him locally, 369-5228 with a 225 area code. He'll take care of everything. From dealing with the insurance company to coming over, diagnosing the problem, he'll be there within that day. Online at AdvantaClean.com. Water, fire, mold. AdvantaClean.com and our good friend Bradley Lynch, 369-5228. Is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in LaPlace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in LaPlace, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Can you be assured that the air and surfaces in your home are clean, sanitized, and safe for you and your entire family? You can now by logging on to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta, where you, your home, your office, your family can be protected 24/7 with active pure technology. This NASA-based science has proven 99.9% reduction of airborne SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus in just 3 minutes. Log on now to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta.
The Jordy Culotta Show merchandise site is live. Shirts, hats, and even swag for the children is available at jordy.itemorder.com. That's jordy.itemorder.com.
Back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented daily by Go Chevrolet. Appreciate Coach Frank Wilson. We're fired up about that visit. That's going to be a weekly here on the Jordy Culotta Show, where we will keep up with McNeese State head football coach Frank Wilson, and a lot of that. Our pitch to Coach has been the popularity that this show has seen. We're starting to get some analytics back, and it looks like along the I-10 corridor, or at least the feedback that I've been getting, whether it be through social media, whether it be through the email of people listening in Lafayette, Alexandria, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gonzales, all along that stretch, even through the I-12 corridor, where Hammond and Covington, Mandeville, up on the North Shore, Denham Springs, even here closer to Baton Rouge. It has been very well received, and we appreciate that. So for somebody like Frank Wilson, who is a dominant recruiter, a fantastic recruiter, some of the best recruiting tactics you've ever seen or heard of was invented by Wilson in college football. I gave you a little bit of his background, and to me, this all screams relationship building and recruiting. Frank Wilson, as a young high school coach at O. Perry Walker, had guys like Craig Buster Davis when he was in high school a long time ago, who was an LSU wide receiver, a dominant wide receiver when he got to campus playing for Nick Saban. His head coach in high school was Frank Wilson at O.P. Walker. He did such a good job of revitalizing that program and bringing so much respect back to the O.P. Walker program that the city of New Orleans hired him as the public schools athletics director for the entire city. He oversaw the entire city. You know how many relationships he was building, whether it be with college football coaches, recruiters, businessmen and women from the local area that he got tied into during that job. At that time, Ed Ogeron recognized that, hired him at Ole Miss to be his recruiting coordinator and running backs coach. And if you've never read the book Meat Market by Bruce Feldman, it follows Ed Ogeron and his first staff at Ole Miss in the recruiting world. And Frank Wilson, that was where I was introduced to Wilson. I read that book the summer that it came out, and I thought to myself, my goodness, Frank Wilson is going to be a superstar. On the first day of the recruiting cycle that Joe McKnight was being recruited, I believe this was 2007 cycle, the 2007 recruiting cycle. Everybody believed that Joe McKnight was going to LSU when his recruitment started, just because he was a New Orleans John Curtis kid. LSU was the big school in the backyard. He was comparable at the time. The comp was Reggie Bush.
Cool. He was too. I saw him play in the Dome a couple of times.
And rest in peace to Joe McKnight as we talk about him on this Mardi Gras day, the New Orleans native and one of the best to ever come out of that city. But he had a first step that was a lot like Reggie Bush. His first step was as quick as his ninth step. His first step was as fast as his 10th step, where if he got it and got going, he was gone.
You up for something. Gone. He's going to embarrass somebody.
I mean, he had a junior season at John Curtis that was the highlights are disgusting. They played Hoover High at the time. Hoover High. It was on national television.
Yeah, it was on ESPN.
And I think McKnight had 3 touchdowns like in the last 5 minutes, so it was stupid the way they won that game. But Frank Wilson comes in on the first day of the recruiting cycle. Now, mind you, Ole Miss is nowhere on the radar for Joe McKnight. Like nowhere. Like, I mean, it's USC, LSU, all the heavy hitters, whoever was the heavy hitter at that time. But LSU, USC were the were the ones that were really making the hay for McKnight. And Wilson comes in to the Ole Miss recruiting office, to the Ole Miss football office on the first day of that recruiting cycle, slams his hands down on the desk and says, "We're getting mother effing Joe McKnight." And the whole room kind of looks at him like, huh? Who? And he's kind of standing there. And Frank's probably 28, 29. He's young at this time. Like, he is young. And he says, "We're getting effing Joe McKnight. I'm just telling you. We are going to get Joe McKnight. He's the number 1 player in the country. He's from New Orleans. We going to get him." And if you read the book cover to cover and you follow that recruitment, it is obvious that USC was doing some shady shit to get Joe McKnight. They did some stuff under the table to make sure that McKnight was coming to USC. They did some illegal stuff that like had Reggie Bush call McKnight. Because, I mean, if you remember, Bush was a rookie at the New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans, yeah.
For the Saints. So they had Bush kind of doing some shady stuff, and I got to imagine that there were some hands that were getting greased. LSU never had a shot. Larry Porter and Les Miles bungled that recruitment from the jump. Joe McKnight was laughing at LSU. Like, I mean, like they were like saying like there's parts in the book where Miles is like waiting in the locker room, waiting outside the locker room to talk to McKnight after games, and McKnight, they have him like on like they've got him quoted and like laughing at LSU. Like they think they got a chance. They still think they got a chance. Like sitting out there like with their, I mean, just
hands in your pockets.
Yeah, like I mean, just lost, clueless. If you read the book, he wants to go to Ole Miss. He's crying, telling Frank Wilson that he's got to go to USC because obviously he's compromised, right? I mean, there's some type of New Orleans business. Some businessman got to him, got to his people, and made it firm that if y'all accept this, he's got to go to USC.
A equals B.
He's got to go to USC. And the conversation of McKnight telling that to Wilson or painting that to Wilson, he doesn't so much say it in the book. Feldman doesn't say it, but if you are a college football fan and you understand how these things work, you see the writing on the wall. You get it. I mean, it's very clear that Ole Miss had won the recruitment. Frank Wilson had won the boots on the ground, relationship building, showing McKnight that you can be a superstar in
Anywhere.
A small SEC town that doesn't have any history, any relevance right now. They do have history. Don't misquote me on that. They did, but they didn't have any relevance at the time. And McKnight was going to Ole Miss, but he couldn't because, you know, the powers of big-time college football came in and made their play. But read the book, Meat Market, if you have not done it, by Bruce Feldman. It is a absolute 365-day look into a recruiting cycle for a college football program that is headed by Ed Orgeron. It features Frank Wilson. It features a lot of young names on that coaching staff. And it shows how they built that 3-year roster, Orgeron, Wilson, and crew, to leave behind to Houston Nutt, the teams that ultimately played in the Cotton Bowls.
He laid the groundwork.
Did he lay the groundwork?
It was coach. Just let him pop. We were there.
I mean, his first team in 2006 probably played, from LSU's standpoint, their best roster in the golden age of this LSU football run. The 2006 team, the 2006 team with Claude Roten, Ricky Jean Francois, Glenn Dorsey, Kyle Williams, all those guys up front, was dominant. Ole Miss, Ed Orgeron with a young little baby face on the visiting sideline.
Baby face.
Has Dwayne Bowe, Jamarcus Russell, Jacob Hester, all the big dogs. They got him in overtime, and Russell has to hit Bowe on a slant to win the game. In OT, like on a fourth down. On fourth down. If that thing goes incomplete, Ole Miss rolls in here with Ed Orgeron and wins the game. Those teams were great, man, and Frank Wilson had a lot to do with that. We look forward to the Tuesday the Tuesday conversation that's going to be a weekly here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, we got some questions over there.
We got a couple questions coming in.
Remember our basketball goal is brought to you by Harper's Haberdashery. We will have a giveaway on Fridays, $250 gift card giveaway from Sammy Willard and Harper's Haberdashery. Some questions. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no worries. Hey, got to get the plug in. Got to get the plug in, and we got to get some shots up because yesterday was not very impressive.
It was not good.
Not good at all. We got two questions, both from the same person. Jude Sansing asked the JC Show, favorite left-handed athlete. I think there's only one answer here.
Favorite left-handed athlete. Steve Young just popped into my head. Remember Scott Mitchell, the backup quarterback for Dan Marino?
Oh, yeah. That was right in my era.
You got Phil Mickelson?
No, dude. Mike Vick.
Mike Vick
is the all-time left-handed athlete.
Mike Vick is the left-handed athlete.
I mean, lefty's a good one, too, Phil.
Yeah.
If your nickname's Lefty, you got to be doing something right.
Boomer Esiason was a lefty.
Yeah. Trying to think of basketball players that had a good left-handed stroke. I mean, I don't like James Harden, so he's not my favorite.
Clarence Caesar played with Shaq. He's in that. He's in the Shaq dunk squad up
that
there.
Thing, we need to blow that thing out. That can't be illegal.
Yeah, no, it cannot be. Favorite left-hand basketball player, Lamar Odom.
Great. Well, he was good with both hands of the ball.
Yeah. I tell you who I called his games for his 3-year run in high school, and I thought he was left-handed for a year. Was rest in peace was Wade Sims.
Really?
Wade
Just
Sims
saying.
had a incredible left hand. Is that the pipes freezing?
That's
Is that the pipes unfreezing?
Something's busting through. But dude, I mean, you're trying to get your boy to go left. Pull up some tape.
Yes.
You know? But
Yes.
we missed one all right off the gate. King Griffey Jr.
The best.
He had some sneakers.
best.
He had some sneaks go online for a bid. Not getting in that pool, dude. That's
I'm trying
impossible
to
to
think.
get those.
I mean, there's got to be a lot of baseball.
Baseball
lefties.
is the sport.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey. Griffey's swing. Johnson's delivery. Yeah. Will Clark.
Thunder
Brent Simmons.
and Lightning.
I saw a Ben McDonald tweeted the other day video of how we doing
Blindfolder.
of what was I talking about?
I forgot.
Ben McDonald tweeted out a video of Will Clark hitting off the
I
tee.
saw that. Still got the little hitch
I
in it, a
mean,
little
like,
just smooth
the
swinging.
sound
dude.
of it.
Yeah, that thing's hitting the back of the net every time.
The
Load me up another
sound
one.
of it. 5,000 subscribers. Shout out to everybody out there. Thank you very much. Next question. What we got?
Oh, next question was, let me pull it up. Tim Tebow, another one that we missed.
Tim Tebow. Yep.
Good lefty.
Nerd. What's going on?
Ask the JC show. Is the weather God's payback to the president of LSU for not giving the Monday for Mardi Gras off originally?
Is Monday not a holiday at LSU?
I don't know, dude. It's been a long time since I set foot on that campus without
Me
a
too.
drink in
But
my
I
hand.
can't imagine that you have Tuesday off, but you don't have Monday off. Do you
Oh.
really expect me to show up on Monday?
Dad, hey, Prez, it's college. I don't have to go if I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's all for me.
Well, I
Scheduled
mean,
off.
if that is the case, then yes, this is karma.
Yeah.
Serving up old Tom Galligan. Isn't that his name? That sounds like a corporate name.
Yeah, President, CEO Tom Galligan.
Ask the JC show with this year's starting pitching
Where are you seeing?
is I'm looking in the chat.
Oh, okay.
With this year's starting pitching, is it beyond expectations to win all of our midweek games? For God's sakes, nobody cares about midweek games. Patrick Kimmery, they don't matter, man. Midweek games do not matter.
If you want to go watch, go watch.
But
Do it with a grain of
I'm
salt.
just kind of playing along. But I do think that they have the arm talent, and they definitely got the names and numbers to really develop a strong bullpen and a strong pitching staff with just the amount of guys. I mean, the frontline guys are going to be there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, I look for them to take these midweek games and have an opportunity to really, really build the depth of this pitching lineup. Just be able to get names, numbers that you can count on. And I think that the midweek games would be great. Ask the JC show. This is from Rusty Leger.
Oh, yeah.
The hefty lefty. How do we
Jared
forget?
Lorenzen, R.I.P..
Yeah, Lorenzen, man. R.I.P. for sure.
He was on a tear.
He beat LSU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, single-handedly.
No, that's what I'm saying. He was on a tear by himself. He was by
Single-handedly.
him in the crop top Kentucky jersey. Didn't do
Yeah.
him any favors, but he didn't care.
But he looked great. I loved his look.
OG sleeve.
Ben Cavell asked the JC show, will Jordy continue to play chess? Yes. That is yes. Yes. I
Little
will not
Queen's
finish
Gambit
that.
on the break.
We need to read all of our questions completely before we go loud with them, but I will answer that one to you. Yes. We appreciate everybody for getting in here and interacting with us. Looking forward to our conversation with Shazz Preston at the end of hour two here, as we will talk to Shazz about his recruitment. He's the top wide receiver in the state for LSU or for Louisiana coming up in 2022. We will ask him his thoughts on the 2021 wide receiver haul, where LSU got everybody they wanted, right? I mean, they got Brian Thomas last week, who some people argue is the state's top wide receiver in 2021. If he's not, Chris Hilton is, and both Hilton and Thomas are in the class for LSU. You add Malik Neighbors and Jack Besh to that lineup, and then Deion Smith, who's the number one player in the state of Mississippi. And you've got the best wide receiver recruiting class in the country, and I don't even think it's close. And Shazz Preston is considered to be the state's top talent for this year's cycle. What's it mean that all those guys are on campus? How is his recruitment going? His dad is a very good friend. In fact, played alongside Mickey Joseph in the 90s. So it looks like LSU's got a lot of the relationships taken care of here. We'll talk to Shazz Preston about where he stands at 9 o'clock when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show, powered every single day by Go Chevrolet. Get in touch with Go Chevrolet online at GEAUXChevrolet.com or stop in and to see them today. They're in Laplace, a very easy and convenient drive for you over in Laplace. Stop in and see Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the entire team at Go Chevrolet online, GEAUXChevrolet.com. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. And Dr. Chad Spillers of Johnson and Spillers Dentistry, with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge between Segan Lane and Bluebonnet, offer everything from ceramic crowns to pediatric dentistry, dental cleanings, Botox, extractions. They're online at johnsonspillers.com. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge, seeing both new patients and existing patients, log online to johnsonspillers.com.
If you missed the show, you can always check out our podcast, brought to you by RMB Builders, on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you can listen to podcasts.
You gotta swivel that.
Yeah. It's all right. All right, welcome back here to the undisclosed location where the pipes are still frozen. In fact, I just peeked my head outside and I saw snow flurries.
It is snowing.
It is snowing. That is Katie,
Steadily snowing.
who has shown up here. Get in that microphone. Don't be shy.
I'm not. I'm cold.
Yeah, dude, she's got no.
I'm
She's
just-
worse. She's worse off than we
I'm
are.
just-
You've got no power?
No, I have no power.
So you got no power. Lloyd and I were just 2 college kids here last night that forgot to keep the water running. We've got
Yeah.
no water in the undisclosed location. We smell like college. We look like college.
We have no college.
Act like
no
college,
breakfast.
apparently.
No.
You and your husband, we do act like college a lot over here. You and your husband, we had a meeting after our last companion show. That'll never happen again.
Yeah, too much skin cut.
Yeah, that's right. So you, your husband, and Burrow slept in front of the fire last night. Is
Okay,
this true?
Henry slept outside in front of the outdoor fireplace.
Henry's the goat,
Henry's the goat.
who
So
we call Burrow.
Yeah.
And we
Joey
have
B.
heaters, like portable heaters out there. And the chicken was out there with Henry. We do have one chicken.
But he can't get too close to the fire
No,
because
but
it went up
I'm
cooked.
just snuggled up with Henry. I mean,
You
they're
need
out there
food. You're the
snuggling.
first one to go, dude.
So
So we're
any
just feeding
word,
fires all
it's
night.
unbelievable that the undisclosed location is on the smallest grid of electricity
really
in
is.
this town
It
for whatever
really is
reason.
upsetting. It's very
I mean,
upsetting.
like there are trees down, there's water flowing through the
ridiculous.
streets, and there is power here, and we forgot to keep the water
I
running.
mean,
Somebody get a
come
dribble.
on.
Jesus, man!
I even did that.
One thing. Screw it up.
You wouldn't believe.
Is there any sign of when you're getting your electricity back?
They said maybe tomorrow night.
Tomorrow
Maybe
night.
tomorrow night, y'all.
It's supposed to rain and sleet all day tomorrow. There's no
BS.
chance you're getting it back tomorrow night.
I don't know what
Bring
to say
Burrow
anymore.
and the hubby over here tonight. Y'all can crash the place. Ask Lloyd. We had it at 95 degrees when we
bet y'all
woke
did.
up.
warm.
I mean,
No
it felt
doubt.
like we slept in a volcano. Then I go to take a shower, and there's nothing that comes out of the faucet.
Y'all, we went to try to find food last night. We went to Dearman.
Nothing's
They
open.
were out of hamburgers.
They
had
were
veggie
open?
burgers and fries.
Oh, well, shout out to Van and the
we
crew
got
for being
fries.
open because
I
this
know.
town ducked and ran
I know.
yesterday. There was no grocery stores
Nothing.
open. There was no gas stations open. I mean, I just wanted to go get a smoothie. God forbid a smoothie. I mean,
It's already
that's like
cold.
asking for a lottery ticket yesterday. I was like asking for a winning Powerball ticket.
It's
Way too
already
cold
cold,
for
dude.
a
Just hold it out
smoothie.
the window.
Now we don't have any water over here.
Got no
The hell are we going to do all
Someone
day,
help us.
man? Jesus.
Someone
Unreal.
Shazz Preston coming up here in a couple of minutes.
If you haven't seen the highlight tapes, you're about to, and it is one for the ages.
I'm telling you, he's Jamar Chase.
Just go
He
up and
is.
get it.
I never thought that I'd see somebody that you could really say, man, that guy's he looks a lot like Jamar Chase. This cat looks like Jamar Chase, man. I mean, the way he catches the ball, the way he grabs the ball out of the air, his athleticism that he shows when he doesn't have the ball. I just, even when he has the ball, I mean, it just, it is.
I know the wide receiver class is stacked for both this year and next year, but it's gonna be hard to keep him off the field from what I've seen.
Yeah,
That's one of those plug and play day one. Like he's gonna be out there,
for sure. For sure.
and if not, he might be rolling heads like Jarvis on special teams.
It's
We're getting crushed for
We're
no
getting
water.
crushed for no water, and
Yeah,
we should be.
We really
Yeah.
are.
I mean, we really should be.
I'm right there in it.
You
though,
shouldn't be
railing
there.
on you.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I was about to say you have no part in this. You're not a part of this deal. I mean, we're the bleep holes that didn't keep it running, bro.
Not
I mean,
even a
I
thought.
feel 18. Right, that's the deal too. Like that's the part they get. I mean,
Yeah,
we
you
both
didn't
looked at
even
each
think
other.
about
Was
it.
like we didn't even think about it. Like we never even. I mean, I called the plumber this morning. He was like, "You didn't keep a drip on, bro?" I was like,
Nothing.
70 years, but
no, dude, I didn't. Okay, I mean, I thought we established that right when we got on the phone. I told you I didn't have a drip going on the text message. That's why I'm calling you at 5:40 in the morning. What the hell do I do to get these things unfrozen? He's like, bro, you're bleeped.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, do you have a hair dryer? I was like, do I have a hair dryer? Is that a joke? No, I don't have a hair dryer. I don't have any hair, bro. I don't have any water. What do you want me to do? Come unfreeze these bleeping pipes. He's like, bro, we
help
can't
us.
do it, man.
I'm
I
not
mean, we
calling to
can't
ask
do
you
it.
how you doing.
He's kind of like, you can tell he's still laying in bed comfortably. He's like, bro, there's nothing I can do, man. I mean, there's just nothing I can do, man.
I just took a shower at my ex-husband's house. So,
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Can you text him and ask him if I can?
Everyone's welcome.
I mean, like, is it okay if we come
Everyone's
by?
welcome.
I mean,
It sounds like a good relationship.
I brushed my-
absolutely.
It's a great relationship. We're friends. We're
There you
friends.
go.
I
He
brushed
was the
my
first
teeth
one
and
I called.
mouthwash this morning.
Oh man, I found a bottle of water
man.
here and I
Oh,
spit it up
God,
outside
no.
of
It's
the
bad.
undisclosed
No,
location.
it's bad. I'm telling you, Katie.
Jesus
It's
Christ! I didn't.
welcome to
know
the
when to brush their
undisclosed
teeth.
dormitory,
For real.
right here on the campus of the Jordy Culotta Show.
That's the funniest
We're
thing
accepting
about it.
your admissions today.
The funniest thing about it is we didn't miss a beat. Like, I'll brush my teeth with some water and some toothpaste. I'll brush my teeth with mouthwash. Like, I know how to handle the situation. Just wish I wasn't in it again.
I know.
Brent Semino, no faucet cover out on the outside. Some newspaper, bro, but it didn't do
You're
anything.
asking the people who didn't turn the water on if they
Rusty
covered their
Leger,
faucets,
Rusty
Brent.
Leger, go outside with a blow dryer and blow it on the pipe. Why don't you do that,
Yeah,
Rusty?
you come blow the pipes.
He wants me
And
to
bring
jump
the
in
blow dryer.
Yeah. He said, does anybody want to jump in the pool? You can break my back.
Oh, what a terrible day this is going to be. I can feel it. I
No,
woke
don't
up
say
pissed
that.
off, bro.
Woke up pissed
Woke
off.
up pissed.
Yeah, piss and vinegar.
Woke up pissed.
Slamming the door.
Where's the water?
Look, Rusty said I'll come fix it. He did 2 houses this morning.
On pipes?
Rusty.
Rusty, slide into the DMs.
I mean, you might be in the undisclosed
Slide into the
location
DMs.
before
I
we
got
know
gear
it.
for you. I got
Rusty.
the address to the undisclosed location. I got
you won't
free
get a better
advertisement
offer.
for you, bro. Slide into the DMs and come unfreeze these pipes ASAP, and we
Rusty.
got all types of goodie bags coming your way, bro.
What a name for a pipe worker, Rusty.
Patrick Henry helped his neighbors out.
All right.
No one helped us out.
Not to brag, but I wrap my neighbor's outside pipes. I'm a hero, no biggie.
You are a hero.
Sweet, right, Patrick? You nerd.
Oh, Rusty's got a torch.
A torch.
All right.
Easy, Rusty. I'm not trying to blow the place up, bro.
We just need to know where we can get food and possibly coffee if anyone has any ends on open restaurants.
We got one that's in Natchez. That's if you want a breakfast pie.
That's not gonna help us.
All right, real quick here. Sad story. Sad story yesterday with the Vincent Jackson news.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I learned this from following Hester on Twitter, and Jacob Hester, who is a local radio host, played with Vincent Jackson in San Diego and tweeted out the news that came for yesterday that Vincent Jackson, former wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, played 12 seasons in the league, 3-time Pro Bowler, amassed over 9,000 yards, was found dead yesterday. No signs of trauma in a hotel room that he was actually living in Brandon,
like
Florida.
Sweets.
Yeah.
That's all bizarre.
I know.
Medical examiner's office has yet to assess the cause here. And I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to talk about what may have happened to a man that is now deceased. But I will say that my first thought, without having any evidence or any reports to it, I wonder if CTE played a part here, because of how it felt like this story is a little familiar to the Dave Duerson story, to the Junior Seau story, to players that play in the NFL for an extended amount of time, and you hear a story like this where they're either in a hotel room, they're in their home, and
it's obviously he wasn't he was still in touch with his family. They talked to him on Friday. They obviously knew to check up on him. So it's not one of those things where he was off the reservation, So
yeah.
it's just interesting. He was still talking to his wife and kids, and I mean, he was Buck of the Year 4 times.
Wow.
So he's real involved in the community.
I vividly remember him. Obviously being a Saints fan, he was a big player, and then he went out to he went out west with San Diego, and he was still making an impact. He had a really good 12-year career.
He started with the Chargers.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. And then went to he was on that Super Bowl winning team in 2002 with Booker in them. No?
Other way around. He played his first 7 seasons from 2005 to 2016, first 7 with the Chargers. But he was on that AFC Championship team. Well, not AFC Champ. They played in the AFC Championship. Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates.
Yep, against the Jets.
Yeah. So he was a player.
Yeah, he was. And a sad story for Vincent Jackson, the NFL world. I wonder what will come of that, just because of how familiar that story feels. Like we have been reporting that the past couple of seasons. Another NFL story there, and there's no way to transition out of that one into any good news. But was one that jumped off yesterday, is that Tom Brady they're asking him to apologize. Lorraine Groves, who is the daughter of Greg Groves, the silversmith at Tiffany and Company for nearly 3 decades between 1967 and 1994. Greg Groves crafted the first ever Super Bowl trophy. His daughter, Lorraine, wants an apology from old Tommy Terrific for tossing it over the water at the victory parade for the Bucks. Hey, Lorraine, get the hell out of here.
It's more his than it is hers.
Jesus, are you kidding me? This is what Lorraine said to a Florida television station. I didn't sleep for the past 2 nights because of this, and I was so upset. I know the passion that goes into the trophy and how my dad and his fellow silversmiths are so proud to make this. It just upset me that this trophy was disgraced and disrespected by throwing it as if it was a real football. Lorraine goes on to say, I personally would like an apology, not just to me and my family and the other silversmiths, but to the fans. Hey, Lorraine, Get out of here.
For the Silver
It
Smiths
ain't
all
happening. Are you
across
kidding
America.
me?
Dude, you know Tom's
I
going to
mean,
do something.
2021, we are so weak, bro.
The only good thing that happened from it, she's just getting crushed. I mean,
Yes.
and nobody's like, well, you know what? He should have.
Yeah. Hey, Lorraine. I love the name too. It's such a fun name to kind of like yell at.
Yeah.
Like,
Lorraine.
Jesus, Lorraine.
Are you kidding
What
me?
the hell do you mean? Are you kidding me? Lorraine and her dumbass comments.
Lorraine's at it again.
I mean, Lorraine. Here we go, Lorraine.
Lorraine's active in the Facebook community, no doubt. She's in some neighborhood watch like Lorraine's posted again.
She's a member of a Silversmith group.
Yeah.
apparently.
That's a big deal.
Frankie Culotta, come by the house. I got plenty of water. Hey, Frankie, you're a contractor. Come by ours and fix it.
Frankie said he has plenty of showers.
For God's
too.
sakes, man. We smell like college over here. All right, it's going to Shazz Preston, who is the state's best wide receiver. We will link up with him and get out of here next on the Jordy Culotta Show, where daily we are brought to you by every single day by Edward Jones. Edward Jones, he is taking Daniel Newman, who is out in central Louisiana. Magnolia Square is where his office is. He is out this week. Good for him, vacation. And Daniel's in the sunshine. Wow,
He's in the Virgin Islands,
did
right?
he play it right?
Yeah, Daniel.
Damn it, Daniel.
Damn,
Last week when
Daniel.
Katie and I went in there, we met with Daniel. Daniel and I told Katie when we first met him at Stabs, I believe 3 weeks ago, that he's going to make the process easy. And we are now customers of Daniel. I had my 401k rolled over to him over at Edward Jones, and it was simple. Went and met with him in the Magnolia Square office. He sat down with us, explained it, set me up on the app. He and I talked directly to one another. Daniel Newman is easy to get in touch with. In fact, if you're heading into the plants this morning, and you're a little curious about your financial position on the future of your financials, your 401k, your benefits, Daniel Newman knows the plant system here in Baton Rouge, whether it be Dow, Exxon, BASF. He knows those financials in and out. You've got to get in touch with him. Call the office. Don't do it today because he's out. But
answer.
Here's his email. Take his email. Daniel.Newman. It's Newman spelled Newman. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. He is our financial advisor. Let him be your financial advisor. Like I said, if you're working at the plants, man, he's the guy. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. The state's best wide receiver from St. James, Shazz Preston, when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. So if you got to get in touch with our guy, Bradley Lynch, over at Advanta Clean, it's not going to be a good day for you. But the good news is if you give him a call at 369-5228, he'll take care of everything. Water, fire, mold. If you feel water on the carpet when you wake up, if you smell fire, if you see mold, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at Advanta Clean, online at advantaclean.com. Call him locally, 369-5228 with a 225 area code. He'll take care of everything. From dealing with the insurance company to coming over, diagnosing the problem, he'll be there within that day. Online at advantaclean.com. Water, fire, mold. advantaclean.com and our good friend Bradley Lynch, 369-5228. Go Chevrolet is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in LaPlace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in LaPlace, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Dr. James Johnson and Dr. Chad Spillers of Johnson and Spillers Dentistry, with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge between Segan Lane and Bluebonnet, offer everything from ceramic crowns to pediatric dentistry, dental cleanings, Botox, extractions. They're online at johnsonspillers.com. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge, seeing both new patients and existing patients. Log online to johnsonspillers.com.
If you missed the show, you can always check out our podcast, brought to you by RMB Builders, on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you can listen to podcasts.
Come back here to the Jordy Culotta Show.
Oh,
Hey.
Little echo for the ladies.
Welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet. We are on YouTube. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace. Stop in and see Nick Richard, see Lee Carney and the crew. Shop new inventory, shop pre-owned inventory, all online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. The class of 2022 in the state of Louisiana is full of dogs. LSU could really fill it up right here in the state. You got one of the best offensive linemen in the country in Will Campbell. He's committed to LSU. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Walker Howard. He's committed to LSU. You got one of the best wide receivers in the country in a LSU fanatical area in St. James High School at Shazz Preston. Shazz Preston is the player. He plays for the Louisiana Bootleggers in the offseason. He is, I'm telling you, Lloyd and I were talking, and we'll ask him about this. I don't want to disrespect him at all. I don't want to compare him to anybody. He's his own man. But he is as comparable to Jamar Chase as we've ever seen. Just his athleticism, the way that he can play with the ball in and out of his hands, his route running. But more than that, it's his mentality. It's the way he plays, and he's joining us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We welcome in Shazz Preston, the number one wide receiver in the state of Louisiana for 2022 and one of the best wide receivers in the country, joining us now. Good morning, Shazz. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely, man. What is it like here now? I mean, I know that recruiting, you've probably been through the thick of it, right? Like you've probably been through the craziest part with the junior season that you have and blowing up. Now you know who wants you, and it seems like the country is after you. What has recruiting been like from your point of view?
Well, recruiting has been, like you said, it has been crazy. But, I've just been taking it day by day, been taking my time with it, just enjoying it for the most part. That's what most recruits understand going through this process, but they shouldn't be stressful throughout this process. It just should be, just respect it and just have fun with it, But recruiting has been treating me good so far, and I just been just letting God take care of it, and I just go by that.
So a dude like you would have the opportunity to probably go to any 5 colleges that you would like in this country and go visit. Like you would be able to go out to USC, down to Miami, let's say LSU. You go anywhere you want to go visit. But now with these restrictions, you can't do that. What are the coolest parts of recruiting? What's a guy like you who, you would be able to do it all? What do you get to do now?
See, now I really these days I really can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But right now all the coaches do is do edits. Like edits of me with my face on uniforms and stuff, and they call me and FaceTime me and do Zoom calls and do Zoom visits, like a tour of their facility and stuff like that. But it's weird, but they still try to get a job done. They still try to get me to feel like I'm there.
Yeah. I don't want to disrespect you, bro. I know you're your own man, and you look like you're going to be, you're going to have, you can do whatever you want in football, but you remind me a lot of Jamar Chase when I turn on the film. Have you heard that before? Has people told you that? Because it's just the way you guys move, your athleticism, but more than that, it's more your mentality. Do you look up to him? Has people told you that you remind them of Jamar Chase?
It's crazy because a lot of people think I look like Jamar Chase.
You do look like him. You do look like him.
He did tell me I look like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. But yeah, I love Jamar Chase. I love Jamar. I watch this game, and a lot of people, like you said, you're not the first one to say it. That play like Jamar, but I could see that why he's saying that, because I do some stuff like him too. So him and me and Jamar Chase game is comparable.
Absolutely. And we're talking to Shazz Preston here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Shazz is one of the best wide receivers in the 2022 recruiting cycle in a state of Louisiana this season that is absolutely jam-packed with high school talent. Shazz is one of the best. He's the number one wide receiver in the state of Louisiana right now. You live in a very LSU heavy populated place in St. James, Louisiana. Corey Webster being the legend that came out of that area so many years ago. Do you feel pressure around you to go to any particular school, or have you kind of found the peace of mind that you're going to figure this thing out for yourself?
No, sir. That's the thing. During this process, you can't really stress. You try your best to not stress yourself out, because if you stress it out, you're not going to enjoy it. So I try to enjoy myself as much as possible. Just enjoy the process. That's the motto. Enjoy the process. So I don't really stress myself out, and I think I could find peace throughout my time at St. James, and just to come down to the wire, and when it's time to sign the paper, I just make the best decision. So there's no rush, there's no time limit. Just gotta let God take the decision.
Shazz Preston is on Twitter at ShazzPreston7. I got to ask you now. Your dad and Mickey Joseph, good friends. They played together. LSU, obviously, he is a very instrumental part of the passing game with the wide receivers. What is your relationship like with LSU, and where do they stand in your recruitment?
Well, they're standing very high because Mickey Joseph been on my he's been in my ear since I was in middle school, because when my brother was going through this process, Mickey Joseph always said that he was gonna get me, and I used to when I was younger, and I used to go to the little kiddie LSU camps. I used to sneak in with the older kids, and I used to work out with them. And Mickey Joseph kept telling my dad that I was gonna be special. So yeah, LSU is in a higher rating right now, and like you said, my dad and Mickey Joseph have a good close connection, and their bond just getting stronger by the day, because trying to get me, but like I said, LSU is in a higher rating right now, and it just has to see what it is.
That is great news, Shazz. That is great news for our listeners. Not so great news for our Mississippi State graduate on staff
Shazz.
here.
Yeah, I graduated from State. I heard you might be headed there with your brother. Is that right?
I might be.
So excited.
Not so in depth on that answer. We like that, number 7.
I'll start spreading that immediately.
Shazz, so what is it like at St. James? Because I know I've been to a Friday night at St. James, and it is wild down there on a Friday night. I know that there is a lot of you guys got a lot of expectation going into your senior season. What do you expect from your group here in your final year?
Well, this year our group is going to have a lot of competition, so during the off season we can have to push ourselves like we usually do. But I think we got to turn it up a notch. But I think last season we just had to wake ourselves up after a big victory a couple seasons ago when we won a championship. So I think this year our head is back on straight, and I think we're going to be fine. So we just gotta work hard through the off season, and we just gotta put our minds to it. It looks like all our minds on it. We ready to get back on the field, even after the upset and loss we had last year. But we're gonna bounce back, and we're gonna do our best.
So you don't have a timeline on this thing, huh? You don't know when you're ready to make a commitment. You're just gonna kind of let this thing play out.
I'm just kind of let it play out. Yeah, I'm just let it play out.
Shazz, go get him, bro. It is fun to watch you play football. I think everybody selfishly that's listening to this, or the majority of the people selfishly that listen to this, would love to see you in purple and gold. But whatever decision you make, bro, you go and get them. And we are proud to watch you in our state. Let's talk again soon. Thank you for the time this morning.
All right, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to your show. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. There's Shazz Preston checking in from St. James High School down there. Look, man, watch the film. Turn the film on. He's as comparable and as close of a comparison as I think I've seen to Jamar Chase.
That 7 looks good on him.
7 looks good on him, but the way he runs routes, the way he grabs the ball out of the air, his ability to run with the ball after he makes the catch. Look, I think that is it's tremendous. And then you put that alongside the guys that they've already got committed to the wide receiver position at LSU. It sounds like Chaz Preston could be one of the next ones that happens to. All right, we're going to see if we can get these pipes figured out. Just like college fashion, I've texted my dad to see if he can't help out. He texted me with a double question mark text. Did you freeze your pipes?
How old are you, son?
Yeah, that's right. You moron. You're an idiot, son.
I raised you better.
Right? So that is an issue that we're going to have to deal with at the undisclosed location over here this morning, and we are not looking forward to that. Daily, we're brought to you by Falaya. Are you looking to sell your house this spring? You thinking about trying for sale by owner? Then you need to check out my friend Barrett Blondo and what he's got going on over at Falaya, where listing plans start at only $399, where you can sell your house by yourself. Save thousands with Falaya. For more information, online, falaya.com. That's FALAYA.com. It's just like the suffix of a chafalaya. The end of a chafalaya is where this comes from. Falaya.com, or you can download the app at Falaya wherever you get your apps at your Apple and Android stores. We appreciate everybody's support out there. Have a happy Mardi Gras. Hopefully the next time we talk to you, we've got running water and have showered.
Please.
You'll know if we don't.
Tomorrow morning, though, Dr. Steve Caparotta, Dr. Steve Caparotta said that tomorrow is going to be worse, so stay safe out there. Yeah.
Like
Katie's without power. We could have a sleepover maybe at the undisclosed location. If we do, we go live. Burrow might be here. Bring Joey over to get the water going, for God's sakes, for everybody out there, for Lloyd, for Katie, for Rivers back at home with the kids, for Nikki tweeting during the show. Thank you very much. I'm Jordy Culotta. Go Chevrolet signs us off. Stay safe, stay dry, stay warm.